There's a couple of horses I think here to discount from the Gold Cup. Factophile, I don't think he'll stay, and even if he does, he's probably not good enough to beat Galopin Des Champs. Jerry Colombe, an admirable horse, has tried to beat Galopin Des Champs and failed, and come out this season once, and he was quite soundly beaten. So Factophile and Jerry Colombe wouldn't be on my list. I think Factophile is more likely probably to try the Ryanair. He could go for the Gold Cup, but, whatever. Monty Star, I don't think he's good enough. Corbett's Cross, don't think he's good enough. L'Empresse is good enough up to a point, but he doesn't stay well enough, doesn't get up the hill. Il est Francais, talented horse, not a Gold Cup horse. Uick, talented horse, never a Gold Cup winner. Gentleman's Game, the Real Whacker, all of these horses at high senior, nah. So the two that I would be looking at against Galopin Des Champs, granted decent ground in March, would be the King George winner, Banbridge. Now, a lot of people will say that he'll go for the Ryanair. He might do. But if it comes up good ground, if it's decent ground on Friday at Cheltenham, he would have a big chance in the Gold Cup. Again, traditionally, people think the King George is an easy 3-mile test. It's not. You need to really stay to win a King George. A lot of horses stepped up from 2 miles 4 up to 3 miles in the King George that were top class horses over shorter, and they just simply did not stay in the King George. You need to stay, you need stamina. And what won Banbridge the King George was stamina. He stayed on really strongly after the line. Loves good ground, obviously. So he's around about 12 to 1 generally. There's a few firms offering 14 to 1, 16 to 1. If it came up good ground, 16 to 1 or 14 to 1 would look quite a nice price each way, even though you've still got Galopin Des Champs, who's just the elephant in the room. Galopin Des Champs he's a phenomenal talent. He really is. What's going to stop him going for 3 in a row? I'm trying to look for horses that haven't tried to beat him in the Gold Cup yet, but that might have a chance. The other one would be Grey Dawning. Now, I know that he was pulled up in the King George. Things did not go his way, but he's a good horse. He's a really good horse. He won at the Cheltenham Festival last year, so we know that he handles March. We know that he likes the track. We also know that he stays well. I think he stays well. He was outstayed by Royal Pagaille on deep ground at Haydock. But I don't think Grey Dawning has stamina issues per se. I think he's a little bit over exuberant with his jumping, and that's probably his main issue. If they can slicken up his jumping and it comes up decent ground at Cheltenham, he's 25 to 1 now. That would look not a bad price, but you'd like to see him come out on trials day in that he could run in is it the Denman Chase or the Cotswold Chase or whatever that 3-mile trial race is at Cheltenham that's coming up. There might also be a race at Newbury for him. There is a race at Newbury for him. That's the Denman Chase, isn't it? One of those races, Grey Dawning needs to come out and make a statement. So those would be the 3 horses that I would be looking at in the Gold Cup. The obvious one is Galopin Des Champs. He's the one they all have to beat. He's probably going to be very difficult to beat. The second one would be the King George winner, Banbridge, at around 14 to 1. And the third one would be Grey Dawning, because I'm trying to look at up-and-coming horses on the scene, because none of these horses that have been around a while are going to beat Galopin Des Champs. Jerry Colombe's not going to beat him. Factophile is already tried and failed. Monty Star's not good enough. Corbett's Cross, come on. He's not never in a gajillion years is he going to beat Galopin Des Champs. L'Empresse tried and failed last year. A year later, I don't think anything's going to change. So Banbridge and Grey Dawning would be the two that I'd be looking at. But if it comes up soft ground, I think Galopin Des Champs just pisses the race.